So, Dominic Cummings, main advisor to Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the main man behind the Leave campaign, has actually left the number 10. So, Sam, tell us a little bit. What the hell is going on in the UK?
Yeah, that was quite interesting. Dominic Cummings was the man who was credited with basically successes of the Vote Leave campaign and his company and the way they used the internet. They managed to bring people out that didn't vote, and he was portrayed by the mainstream media basically as the puppet master behind Johnson's administration, and I mean in many ways, he was the Steve Bannon of the UK. He was hated by the mainstream media. He was accused of stirring up xenophobic feelings. He was accused of anti-European feelings. He was accused of being a right-wing extremist. But interestingly, he himself has described himself as more of a libertarian and not a Tory. And this was exact quote. And why do I say that? Because Tory is a largely, negative term for conservatives, right? And he had very negative views about traditional conservatives. He described there is a European research group within the Conservative Party that is very anti-EU. He described them as useful idiots, and they were sort of his allies in many ways. Yeah, I think he should be viewed as a very anti-establishment, anti-UK establishment figure in a sense that he's anti-civil servants. He's very much anti-old guard Conservative Party, and his ejection was culmination of basically the internal fight that came about as a result of basically the success of Brexit. In a way, the Brexit had united these anti-establishment, anti-Europeans with sort of nationalistic, old-fashioned conservatives within the Conservative Party. People like Jacob Rees-Mogg, who talks like it's 18th century, for example.
But this session has hardly begun. It is in its infancy. It is like Sixtus, my newborn son. It is still in the mewling and puking stage. It has not reached the stage of toddling and walking and taking bold steps.
You know, they had come together. People like David Davis, and Dominic Cummings, they had come together. But since Johnson's election, he won in a landslide, and it became clear Brexit is happening. It's a done deal. And since then, they've been at each other's throats like crazy, fueled by mainstream media, who's very anti Dominic Cummings and his team. Let's get into the details of the resignation and leaving number 10 behind. Dominic Cummings left after Lee Kane resigned, and he resigned because he was the director of the communications and he wanted to become chief of staff. Chief of staff was a position created by Tony Blair in 1997, basically in an attempt to more Americanize the British political system. And chief of staff is viewed as somebody who basically controls access to the prime minister. Therefore, it is, very crucial and very important. And it seems when Lee Kane went, he felt his position was marginalized and he started to think about leaving. The reports also say that Boris Johnson gave them, he had a very tense meeting with them, and he accused them of briefing against Prime Minister to the newspapers. So their relationship seems to have become completely strained, even though previously, even when Dominic Cummings broke the lockdown rules a couple of months ago, and it led to a massive fall in favorability of the Conservative Party, even then Boris Johnson stayed.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Okay, so he's the guy who went to visit his mom, right?
Yeah, exactly. His family, yes. He went to visit his family, and
At the
then he
height
said,
of the lockdown in the UK, so when no one was allowed to go to anyone else's house. So that's why
exactly.
they said he was being a hypocrite and all that, of course.
No, yeah, exactly. And it's, I mean, he claims it's just his lie is a bit too much, I think, in this one, because he says that he was going to a castle because he had to check his eyesight. I don't know. It doesn't like, it doesn't add up to me anyway. But yeah, he I think, to be honest, he's been exaggerated as a master manipulator. Anyways, but yeah, and the rose seems to come. It's kind of gets personal in some ways as well. It seems that he had a very strained relationship with Boris Johnson's fiance. It seems she was the one who blocked Lee Kane's appointment to the chief of staff. And again, these are all reports, not confirmed. Following that, they started briefing against Prime Minister itself. And that led to a complete, he suddenly basically, because at first he said he's going to leave at the end of the year, but then suddenly it became, I'm leaving right now, and he left very dramatically with his stuff in his box, kind of like a movie style, and he left the number 10. My point of view on this, again, this is my point of view from reading the reports and stuff. I can't trust anything right now because the media hates him so much that some of these reports may be exaggerations, huge exaggerations, right? But at the same time, it seems there was a civil war within the Conservative Party, and the old guards won basically. And he, like many others, failed to do any significant reforms to civil service or anything else, to be honest, because he had big plans for refocusing the economy away from London, focusing on North, blah blah blah, but none of it came to fruition so far. So it's a sad day for, I suppose, that's a vote leave campaign. Important to mention Nigel Farage, who was the leader of UKIP and a man behind anti-European parties for many years and all that. They had a very negative relationship for most of the time, but he did tweet a picture of Cummings leaving, sort of perhaps signifying that there may be a betrayal about Brexit ahead, but this is definitely a loss for a more pro-Brexit camp, not like a more hardcore pro-Brexit camp. Not the other side is also pro-Brexit, but not so hardcore,